Hello everyone and welcome to Ace Combat X. Hi Floof, hi Mia. Tis I had immediately. Oh boy. Shocking. Oh. Well, today the showcase continues with the next game on the list, Ace Combat X. And in total, there are 40 aircraft in this game. So I've divvied it up into 5 episodes, 8 aircraft each. So let's get started with the first one. And we're going with Out of the Fire.
The airborne fortress Gleipnir nearly wiped out our
And our first aircraft is the F-4E Phantom II. A large fighter with a massive payload and superior range, making it effective in both air-to-air and air-to-ground combat. I call bullshit. It is indeed a large aircraft. However, as we can see here, our ammo counts aren't that great. Also, it's air-to-air as shit. Now, interception is good in real life, but not dogfighting. But anyway, Ace Combat. Yes, Ace Combat. Well, actually, no. No, Floof. This is not Ace Combat 10. This is actually Ace Combat X for either experimental or advanced. It's kind of a spin-off. F4E is best, most powerful. Okay, sure. Anyway, real strange stats. Most of you already know this because the Phantom's been pretty much every single showcase of late. It was made by McDonnell Douglas. It is an interceptor fighter bomber made for the United States. It is currently in limited service. 5,195 were built. It was manufactured from 1958 to 1981. Its introduction date was December 30th, 1960 for the U.S. Navy. Its first flight was on May 27th, 1958. It was retired by the United States in combat use in 1996. By the Israelis in 2004. 2013 for the Germans. 2016 for the U.S. as a target drone. 2021 for the JASDF and 2024 for South Korea. Other operators include, they are currently being used by the Hellenic Air Force of Greece, supposedly Iran. I say supposedly because we don't know exactly how many aircraft they have left, period. And Turkey. Former operators include Australia, Egypt, Germany, Israel, Japan, South Korea, Spain, the United Kingdom, and the United States, all fixed-wing branches of military, namely the Air Force, the Marines, and the Navy. NASA even had a few of them. As for our stats in Strange Reel, we have a 65 in speed. That should actually be higher. That's the one thing that the Phantom was good at, was going fast. Mobility is a 32. That's about right. Stability is a 39, defensive of 42, air-to-air of a 31, air-to-ground of a 37. The liveries we have, officially, the Aurelia is just the white body. Laysath is the, well, should be the two-tone camouflage pattern based off the JSDF. But what we have here is a Heartbreak 1 skin. All the special skins you will see are replacements from Ostrich. I will link his stuff in the archive. So if you want to have it for yourself, go ahead. Then special 1 would have been the Luftwaffe RF4E Norm 83 livery, but instead we have Mobius 1. And finally, special 2 is this one. But we're going to go ahead and take Heartbreak 1. Now, this little symbol up here means that we can be launched from a carrier. That technically isn't true for this model. The E model was Air Force only. But Strange Rail doesn't always abide by our circumstance. As for armament, the F4E was armed with a 20mm M61A1 Vulcan cannon mounted internally under the nose, which would be right there. We are armed with 52 AIM-9C Sidewinders. I specified the C because not only that's what the Phantom was armed with most of the time in Vietnam, and 2, the missiles in this game track about as well as the AIM-9C. But we get 52 of those. We're also armed with 10 of the BLU-27 napalm bombs. 8 of the AIM-7 Sparrows. And 8 of the Mark 84 unguided bombs. I will give Ace Combat X a lot of credit. This is the first time. Well, no, not the first time. Zero had it too. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yeah, Zero had it too. But between X and Zero, it was the first time that in an Ace Combat game, the F4 was armed with what it should have. Sparrows and bombs. We're going to take the Mark 84. All right, here we go. Gotta remember how the PSP emulator works.
5 more miles to Puna Bay. Attack formation, please. I've got something on radar. It's enemy. He's an attack. What kind of enemy? Air? Land? Everything's in chaos. What's going on? Just send up every available pilot.
But I picked this mission because this is actually plays to the Phantom strengths. It is a strike bomber and interceptor.
Look for yourself. None of our guys have a Southern Cross. This is Puna Bay. We have an emergency. Come in. This is Port Patterson Command. What's the situation, Puna Bay? We're taking enemy fire. Request reinforcements immediately. Request reinforcements immediately. It'll take some time. We need time to launch. Hold on until reinforcements arrive.
Kaboom.
There'll be nothing left of this base but a pile of rubble.
surprised these guys aren't taking off. See, the Ace X hitboxes and the tracking are bullshit. That the head-to-head missile should have hit, but it didn't. Because this game's tracking and hitboxes are not optimal. I need to pull YouTube back up just in case. Okay, no one said anything there, but Also, this marks the first game, or no, never mind. 4 and 0 were that too. Say, technically, I could drop the Ace Combat or the Aircraft Showcase Re-Dux moniker or subtitle, because Ace 4, Ace 0, now Ace X. Yeah, we're not redoing the old showcase anymore. It's still the same series, so for consistency. Alright. Incoming. More enemies. I mean, if the Pipper is on the target, you would think that the missile would be able to track. yeah, with this being an 8 or a 5 episode series, we should be done with Ace Combat X by December. And then Joint Assault will start in December, probably finish sometime in January, and then we'll have Assault Horizon, which that'll probably go through March. And then finally Project Wingman, which will bring us to late April, early May. So we still got a lot of showcase to go.
Forces have abandoned.
Also, I want to thank you guys again for indulging in my aircraftism. All right, next aircraft on the list. That one. We're gonna move on to Prelude for an old Navy aircraft.
Is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the LASAF fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna Base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas.
All right, so our next aircraft is the A-6E Intruder, a carrier-based attack craft that excels at infiltrating enemy territory at low altitudes to strike its targets, hence the name Intruder. Also, as you can see, it is naval, it is a carrier-based. Real strange stats. The Grumman A-6 Intruder was an attack aircraft, and one variant was even an aerial tanker, the KA-6D. It was developed for the United States by Grumman. It has been retired from military use. 693 were built across all variants. It was manufactured from 1962 to 1992. It was introduced to the Navy in 1963. Its first flight was April 19th, 1960, and it was retired from active service on April 28th, 1993 by the United States Marine Corps, and February 28th, 1997 for the United States Navy. It was further developed into the Northrop Grumman EA-6B, the Prowler. Operators were the United States Navy and Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. Check on chat. Okay. As for stats, we have a 39 in speed, which makes sense. This is an attacker. It doesn't go anywhere fast. We have a mobility of 30, a stability of 66, defense of 90, air-to-air of 18, air-to-ground of 62, and as for our liveries, for the Aurelia, we got the standard light gray for the United States Navy. LASAF's got the two-tone desert camo. Special is the gray body with cream nose and yellow trim, modeled after VMA 224's A6A. And then special is the, they say it's the dark green dark green drab, but I call it Schnee 6. As for armament, we don't actually have integrated guns. We can carry gun pods, and it looks like we have 2 of them. Although I don't know which ones they are. Sorry about that. Yeah, doesn't say. Hi Ross, welcome to stream. Yeah, I use Chrome. Don't necessarily like every aspect of it, but Twitch and Chrome seem to talk. And YouTube definitely talk with Chrome, so. Anyway, for armaments, I'd assume that we've got 20mm cannon, or twin 20mm gun pods that were just strapped on for the F4. That's our guns. We have 56 AIM-9C Sidewinder missiles for a standard missile. As for armaments, we are armed with 12 Mark 84s, 8 AGM-84 harpoons, and is that the model for the harpoon? I don't know if that's the model for the harpoon. Let me double check. Because I think in Ace Combat X, they don't differentiate between the models. Okay, so maybe they do. Let me just double check real quick. We're not actually going to use this. I'm just trying to make sure about something. Oh, wait. Oh. There you go. Yeah, they don't differentiate between the models. Okay, so that, I think, actually... Let me just double check. Yeah, that... Okay, so the model that Ace X uses for the LASM is... the Japanese ASM-3. Good to know. And then we've got we got 14 AGM-65 Mavericks. And that actually is the model for the Maverick. So at least there's that. We're going to take the Mark 84s. Actually, no, we're going to take the, what should be the harpoons. They're not the harpoon because as a PSP game, assets are limited, but, you know, whatever.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff.
Yep. This is gonna be a while. There we go.
Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck. Crux to Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships
Yeah.
in the port.
I like the
Pay
look of the
careful
intruder.
attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander.
I haven't checked out the AC website.
The battalion is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter.
But yeah,
We'll be risking
it's
out here with you.
kind of being assumed that the main reason why Aurelia is having to deal with LASAF on their own, and why LASAF initially had the upper hand, because they mentioned their satellites not working. Well, now we have a reason. The Kessler syndrome from the Lighthouse War.
I'm not gonna let them think I'm here. Enemy ship destroyed.
Well, no, in Ace X,
The battle on the port side.
Crux will say that they weren't able to
Destroyed.
detect the invasion because their spy satellites weren't working. But they never said why.
Enemy approaching.
Well, now we know.
Enemy ship destroyed.
I don't know if it's an official retcon, but the timing is too much of a coincidence.
EA guns destroyed. Enemy planes approaching. Somebody help us.
Yeah, it'd be filling in
Control room to base command. Commence reading.
filling in lore that we hadn't heard before.
Enemy freighter destroyed.
It's not really a freighter, it's a amphibious assault ship.
You'll be able to acquire supplies after entering the port. Just head for the bridge. We've raised the bridge. Hurry up and get inside the port. Hull breach in Area 3. Close the hatch. We're gonna sink.
It's no good, McKnight, we're gonna get killed!
FA, hard to port.
Wipeout games. Oh, the deep lore of the Wipeout games is insane.
The ship's listing.
You come for the silly little sci-fi Tron racing game, and then you learn about the cyberpunk dystopia of the world of Wipeout.
Enemy planes approaching. Somebody help us. Enemy freighter destroyed. Maintain current formation.
Even I'm not familiar with all the deep lore of Wipeout.
Engine room, give us more speed.
Now the downside of the intruder is we cannot really catch up to aircraft that way.
Damn it, our whole fleet's sinking.
Not enough.
Enemy approaching from starboard side. Destruction of enemy fleet confirmed. The mission was a success.
Alright.
We've succeeded
Eric,
in
I'll
destroying
take
the
it.
enemy fleet gathered
We just
in
weren't
Fort
fast
Patterson.
enough to take out the
Our
enemy
ground
fighters.
troops scored a major victory by...
Alright, next mission. And next aircraft. Alright. Yeah. For the next one, we're going to false target. We'll do this one.
Intelligence reports that...
Now this is going to be our first multi-roll, but one that it's the first one that I would actually use for air-to-air. Also, I think some of its liveries are kind of borked. So, beware. Let me just pull up the notes. Okay. Yeah. Alright, the next one is the JA-37 Viggen, a multi-role aircraft developed specifically for short takeoffs and landings, aka STOL. The Viggen, or otherwise known as the Saab JA-37, was made by, well, Saab. And the JA is the strike fighter variant of it. National or country of origin is Sweden. Manufacturer Saab AB. 329 were built across all variants. It was manufactured from 1970 to 1990. It was introduced as the AJ-37 in June 21st, 1971. Its first flight was February 8th, 1967, and it was retired from Swedish service in June 26, 2007 as the SK-37E, SK meaning a trainer aircraft. Operators include the Flygvapnet. I can't pronounce it, so I'm just going to call it the Swedish Air Force. And as for strange real stats, the Viggen has a speed of 65, a mobility of 60, stability of 45, 45 in defense, 32 in air-to-air, 42 in air-to-ground. Uses flares. Okay. Thank you, Mia. And then for liveries, we have a borked one. I accidentally loaded up indigo onto this one by mistake. So it's borked, and I don't have the original. But is the Aurelian is the AJ 37 camo. It's the traditional Swedish forest camo. This one's also borked, but it's supposed to be the AJ or the Swedish ASG. Special is the new paint scheme, Toon Tone Gray, for the Swedish Air Force. And Special 2 is blue body with yellow wing trim. Modeled after La Peter, Blue Peter. The Viggen painted this color to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Swedish Air Force in 2001. Our armament includes one 30mm Oerlikon KCA cannon. Yeah. I don't know where to get the original save files anymore. I guess I can ask Ostrich if he's got them. But I don't really use the JA-37 anyway. I don't really like the Viggen all that much. At least not in this game. In Project Wingman, that's a different story. But, you know. We're also armed with 56 AIM-9C Sidewinders. Because the Swedish do use the Sidewinder. Our special weapons include 12 Mark 83 unguided bombs, 8 what should be RB-04 anti-ship missiles, but this is the ASM-3, and then 8 what should be 8 RB-71 Skyflash semi-active missiles, but this is the Sparrow. Okay.
Something's wrong. Griffith 1, does something seem amiss? There are just too many transport aircraft. Decoy aircraft are probably mixed in with the formation.
Oh, shoot.
We can't confirm which one is the target. Try to find the real one and shoot it down. The target will get away if you don't focus your attacks. It's likely that there is only one target transport in each formation. Take a good look.
Not even Sparrows are accurate at long range anymore.
Alright, I touched it. I'm in. Disengaging. It's shooting. Enemy aircraft. Was there a leak? That's what the decoy aircraft is for. Only one shipment needs to get through. Keep us protected.
Only one shipment, and they're gonna send in how many aircraft? Alright, I need more here. I need more distance.
Decoy aircraft hit. There's nothing we can do. Delivering the cargo is our top priority. Enemy plane shot down.
Jeez.
We've secured the down transport. It looks like you got the real target. We'll carry on from here. What are you doing? Increase your altitude. Escape while the enemy's busy with the decoys. Can't we fly any higher? There are too many of them. Which one is the real thing? Heavy cargo will make it difficult for a transport to maintain a steady altitude.
Fox 1.
Look in the formation for an aircraft with a lower altitude and take it out. Help me! He's right behind me! I can't avoid them all. Eject! Target hit. Damn it.
Well, Ross, if your ads are in a language you don't speak, at least you can be assured that they're not personalizing the ads for you. So there's that. And if they're not personalizing the ads, that means they're probably not stealing your data. Or buying your data under suspicious circumstances. Yeah, the Vigan, I think eventually was replaced by the Gripen, which will be later on this list, on this showcase. Not tonight, but eventually. Yeah, most of the Swedish aircraft were designed to be multi-role and short takeoff landing, mainly because, well, Sweden is a large country. Its terrain makes it where full-size runways are a luxury that isn't found everywhere in the country. So the military is like, okay, well, not everywhere in our country has a proper runway or space for a proper runway, but we need to make sure that we protect everywhere in our country, so we're going to build aircraft that won't need long runways. Modern problems require modern solutions. However, usually the price of STOL capabilities means you have to be a lighter aircraft. And lighter aircraft typically run into payload issues or fuel issues, as in range. So it's always a trade-off. Damn it. Do you want your aircraft to do this? We can do that, but in order to afford that, you're going to have to make this sacrifice. Alright, Ross. See you in a bit. Best case, or best example in modern times, you want your aircraft to be stealthy? Okay, we can do that. However, you're going to have strict design philosophies. AKA, you're not allowed to have external payload. You also have to have a certain type of plan for them. You're also going to increase your maintenance and upkeep costs dramatically because you have to have a certain type of coating. And your aircraft's uptime is going to be reduced because you're going to need a lot more maintenance time. Which is why I think people that say all you need is stealth aircraft, that's not ideal. Because there are too many trade-offs you have to make your plane stealth in order for it to be an effective workhorse. Tip of the spear? Hell yeah. But home defense, operating when the airspace is already sanitized, by definition, suppression of enemy air defense. Because the whole point is to draw fire, and so you can identify where the enemy air defenses are. Well, if you're stealthy, you aren't going to get fired at because they're not going to know you're there. Also, the design constraints will cut into your payload because it has to be internal. It might affect performance depending upon how far in the stealth tree you went.
Enemy shipment destroyed. The mission was a success.
You can't just strap on lantern. You kind of have to have all that shit internal. So, yeah. Trade-offs. Anyway.
We've succeeded.
Mission and aircraft 3 is done. Now we're going to move on to the 4th aircraft. And this is the first one that there's actually no real strange data for. I'm pretty sure. Yep. And it's a fan favorite among Ace Combat fans.
LASAP's Miller.
And that would be the XFA 24A Appalus. A respectable aircraft in all areas, the Appalus boasts unrivaled expandability. The Appalus is carrier-based, as we can see from this symbol here. It is the first fictional aircraft that you can get, also the first tunable aircraft that you can get in the game. It is unlocked as early as Mission 3A. You might not be able to afford it by then, but this is your early game workhorse. It's got good numbers in pretty much every stat except for speed, but you can tune that up. Base-wise, base stats are 60 in speed, 57 in mobility, 42 in stability, 45 in defense, 29 in air-to-air, 41 in air-to-ground, and you can actually tune parts. So let's actually go to the hangar and see what we've got equipped to it. So, for my preferred Atlas setup, I like to have the Mercury engine, which increases both mobility and stability at the cost of defense. Which, okay, fine with that. Then we got extra ladder to increase mobility, stability, and air to ground slightly. For armor, I've got the titanium aluminide armor, which ups our defense. For weapons, I got the extra hard point. So our weapon stats, I'm going to read off both what we should have versus what we actually do have thanks to this. And for the cockpit, good old classic Sniper OS, which gives us the auto-locking gun. Now, for our liveries, got the standard Aurelia light blue with the white front. I just call it ASG. Then we've got the dappled gray camouflage for the lace half. Special is gray body with white frame. And then the one I normally use is Special 2, black airframe with orange wing stripes. I believe we're actually armed with twin guns. I know there's one right here on the right wing root, but I don't know if there's one on the left wing root as well. But knowing that it's probably a 20mm cannon. We are armed with, or base Atlas is armed with 54 AIM-9C Sidewinders, but we've got 70. For our weapons, we got the Mark 83. We're supposed to have 12 of them, but we've got 16 of them. Our unguided bomb. Standard 10 AIM-120 AMRAAMs, but ours are buffed up by another volley to make it 14. And then we're supposed to have 12 AGM-65 Mavericks. We've got another 16, another volley. We're going to take these. Okay, so we are only armed with one 20mm cannon. Gotcha. Yeah, the Atlas is very much a fan favorite. And it is a very versatile aircraft with AMRAAMs, bombs, and Mavericks. You can pretty much accomplish any type of mission you need. And the wide amount of parts you can tune your aircraft with mean it can be used for almost every mission. And given the fact that you can get it early means you've got yourself essentially a disc 1 nuke. Which is probably why a lot of people like the Apples.
Help me! He's right behind me!
But the Atlas handles very well. The only thing I don't like about it is its speed. This thing is not the fastest. Alright, Mia. Have good foods.
What's going on? The complex isn't shielding
We've
us from him.
still got 4 more aircraft after this one, so depending upon how long you take, we'll probably still be here. Although the early planes are going to have the shorter missions. Ow!
This is the Miller Unit 3rd Artillery Division. We're proceeding to Fort Patterson as planned.
Yeah, we should still be live by then.
Attacking by weaving his way through openings in the complex. There's no point in trying to hide. Unbelievable. His aim is amazing. I didn't know we still had that kind of pilot left.
I mean, it's not my aim. I picked the Maverick specifically because in this game, it arcs and comes down on the target at an almost 90-degree angle with no splash damage, meaning that it is very precise.
Evasive maneuver successful. I missed. Damn it, I can't hit him. This is the 3rd Artillery Division. We are en route for the complex. Just hold on a little longer.
Let's take a look at this. I do like the look of it. I also appreciate that it has a glass canopy instead of a coffin. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't hate coffin aircraft. In fact, the Fornius that we'll see later on in the showcase is a coffin, and it's my favorite of the originals in Re-Dux. But, I don't know. There's just something nice about glass canopies. I can't. The problem with this is I can't see where the SAMs are, or when they launched a missile. So I don't know how to dodge really well.
Enemy ground forces eliminated.
Which is why Aegis in this game are so deadly. Dodging surface to air is really hard. Hello, Cross. Welcome to stream. Love that faux 2020 tech. I say faux because IRL 2020 came. Yeah.
We've succeeded in... This should also relieve...
Alright. We've got 4 more aircraft to go. And unfortunately, that's going to be our last original aircraft for the remainder of the stream. That said, I still got some surprises. Our next aircraft, we're going back to false target.
Intelligence reports that LACEF forces are airlifting munitions from Port Patterson to Santa Elva. We think the munitions are for the airborne fortress Gleipnir. At this moment, there is no information on the enemy transport corps formation. Regardless, the mission will be considered a failure if even one of the enemy transport planes escapes out of the combat zone. Destroying all transport planes before that happens will be the main focus of this.
Well, technically, if we were in Stranger, what the big thing that happened around that time wouldn't have been the Aurelia-Lasath War. It's actually an effect of what the big thing was, and that was the Kessler syndrome that happened due to the Lighthouse War. Anyway. Our next aircraft is the F-5E Tiger II, a lightweight and easy-to-fly fighter with respectable capabilities in all areas. And as you can see, we've already got some special liveries. But anyway, real strange. The F-5E was developed by Northrop for the United States. It is currently in service somewhere. Across all variants, across the E and F variant, there were 1,399 built. The F-5E's first flight was on August 11th, 1972. But the F-5 in general was manufactured from 1959 to 1987, and it was introduced in 1964. Operators. Current operators are Bahrain, Botswana, Brazil, Chile, Honduras, supposedly Iran. Again, we don't really know accurate Iranian aircraft numbers due to events, but they did have F-5s at one point. Kenya, Mexico, Morocco, South Korea, Spain, Switzerland, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, and Yemen. And of interesting note, the Houthi organization seized a single F-5 from the Yemeni government. So they've got that. Former operators include Austria, Canada, Ethiopia, Greece, Indonesia, Jordan, Kingdom of Libya, Malaysia, the Netherlands, North Yemen, Norway, the Philippines, the Saudis, Singapore, South Vietnam, the Soviet Union, who received them from Vietnam after the war. They used them as performance or for performance and evaluation. And because they kicked the ass of the MiG-21 and MiG-23 aircraft, that ultimately helped design the MiG-29. The Sudan also had them. Taiwan had them. Turkey had them. The United States, although I think some are still, like a few are still technically being used as aggressors. The Venezuelans had them. I don't think they're airworthy anymore. And Vietnam. Well, I'm pretty sure PA is going to go ahead and say that the Kessler Syndrome is what allowed Laysath to march into Aurelia unopposed, because Aurelia didn't know about Laysath's troop movements because their spy satellite network was dead. Yeah, since this is after the Lighthouse War, OSEA's first top priority is gonna be launching satellites, and since the Aurelia is more or less an ally, they'll probably launch some of their satellites back up into orbit. I don't know, given Aurelia's location, if it's actually feasible for them to have launch sites. First priority is Kessler. That's true, and of all the countries, OSEA would be the one to be able to do that. Thanks to Pilgrim 1, which is currently at the end of the Lighthouse War, docked at the Lighthouse. And it's got the firepower to do it because its express job was blow up an asteroid before it could really affect Strangereal. So I'm willing to bet that Pilgrim 1's next mission after returning home was, clean up the space debris. But the countries that I think would take the lead in reestablishing the satellite network, obviously OSEA, Yuktobania, if it wasn't for the fact that they're still recovering from yet another war, I'd say the FCU. But they got a lot of rebuilding to do on the ground. So they'll probably just let OSEA take care of that part. But given the time from 2019 to the end of the Onion War, I wouldn't be surprised if Ameria started producing satellites of their own. They actually might be able to launch some of their own as well, given how far south San Loma is. But San Loma would be the only place they could actually build that. Anyway, back to the game. Our stats for the Tiger in Ace X. We got a 66 in speed, 36 in mobility, 42 in stability, 33 in defense, 48 in air-to-air, and an almighty 12 in air-to-ground. Now this is built as a light fighter, so it doesn't really have stamina. But our liveries, Aurelia's would be a blue body with black nose. But as you can see, we have an ostrich skin here. This is Shin Kazuma's F5 from Area 88. The Lasath, I didn't want to do that. I hit it wrong button. I took a screenshot. Lasath would be the 3-tone green-brown camo, but this is another ostrich skin. This one is the MiG-28 from Top Gun. And the special is multi-tone blue camo. The special one is the War Dog camo, but I don't actually have that one unlocked yet. I don't know how you get it to be unlocked. I think it's an ACS shoot down. And then this one, special 2, is the white body with blue wing tips and tail surfaces. But we're going to be taking Shin Kazumas. As for armament, we are armed with 2 M61A Vulcan 20mm cannons mounted in the nose. We are also armed with 48 AIM-9C Sidewinders. We've got 12 Mark 83 unguided bombs. 10 LAU 68 rocket pods. I think those are volleys, so 10 volleys. And then, this is the wrong model. The model here is the R-73 Archer. However, what it should be using is 6 AIM-9X Sidewinders.
Something's wrong. Griffith 1, does something seem amiss? There are just too many transport aircraft. Decoy aircraft are probably making extra formation. We can't confirm which one is the target. Try to find the real one and shoot it down. Enemy aircraft. Was there a leak? That's what the decoy aircraft are for. Only one ship.
Now, unlike the Phantom, the Tiger here is a purpose-built dogfighter. That is the entire purpose of the Light Fighter program, was to build a dogfighter to fight the MiG-21 head-on. And it did so very well, so well in fact that in the Soviets' own war games, it consistently kicked the shit out of the MiG-21s. Another reason why they developed the MiG-29. Am I enjoying the fact that an American aircraft kicked the shit out of a Soviet aircraft? Yeah. Yeah, national pride. I'm not going to deny it. The only thing I wish would have happened with the F5 would be, I wish that the Air Force used these to escort the Thuds and the Phantoms rather than the Phantom. Okay, I don't think the QAMs in this game are all that great. Well, they weren't there. No, the F-5E could have very easily been the Air Force's F-8. And I really wish it was. So yeah, Cross, I totally agree with you. But politicians and military officials appointed for political reasons always make bad decisions. Oh no, Olds. I mean, Olds with Operation Bolo, that was a stroke of genius. He figured out how to use the equipment that was given, or that he was given, to its best. He realized the Phantom is best at BVR interception, not dogfighting. I'm going to force an issue so that we can actually do BVR. I'm going to ground all friendly aircraft, so only my aircraft are going to be up, and I'm going to have them look or give off or fly in such a way that it gives off the same radar return as a flight of thuds. So the MiG-21s will come up. So yeah, no. Colonel Robin Olds, the man deserved the medals he got for that. The generals above him that gave him the Phantom and only the Phantom, yeah, they're dumbasses. Hi Gio, welcome to stream. But, Cross, imagine what Olds could do if he was given the Tiger instead of the Phantom. Well, you missed the F4. The F4 already had its turn. And I know I like to give the F4 shit. That's largely because people keep putting it in roles it's not supposed to be in. It's not a fighter, and I'm tired of people saying it is. It is a interceptor and a strike bomber. It's very good in those roles. But everyone's like, oh, it's a fighter. It's a great fighter. Look at all the kills it got against the MiGs. Yeah, well, look at all the deaths it had against the MiGs, too. It was positive. That's only because the MiG pilots sucked and the Air Force pilots learned how to make do with what shit they were given. Better recon plane. It would also be a great recon plane too, because it's fast. It's also relatively stable. And it's a two-seater, so the pilot can focus on flying and the back-seater can work the camera. So yeah, Gio, you're right. The F4 would make a great recon plane. I think they did use it as a recon plane too.
Escort aircraft, get off of us! We lose everything if this plane goes down.
Yeah, the one problem about the F5 in this game, no long-range air-to-air. This is a CQB dogfighter. And I'm down to 12 missiles. Shit. Remember what I was saying about no stamina? Next aircraft.
We've succeeded in shooting down all enemy transport aircraft bound for Santa Elva. This should prevent the enemy from gaining any new ground for a while. Future missions are sure to be less dangerous thanks to your efforts. Let's hope this victory helps make our future battles a little easier, too.
Alright, so our next one is we're going to head back to 3A, Prelude.
The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin.
Pull up my
Our
stats.
scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the LASAF fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna Base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order to prevent this, we...
Okay. Next aircraft in line. We've got the F-1. This is developed as an air-to-ground and air-to-ship attacker. The compact and well-refined design has earned the trust of pilots and mechanics alike. One second. Let's take off the hoodie. Okay, so real strange stats. The Mitsubishi F1 was made by, well, Mitsubishi. It doesn't really have a name, but it's primarily anti-ship, and its big weapon is what I like to call the ASM-3 Long Lance. So, what's up? Japanese dime or torpedo bomb. Kate. Yeah, we're gonna call this the Kate. Anyway, the Kate here. 77 were built. Primary manufacturer, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. And its sole user was the Japan Air Self-Defense Force. It's manufactured from 1975 to 1987. It was introduced into the JASDF in April of 1978. Its first flight was June 3rd, 1975, and it was retired from service in March 2006. It was developed from the Mitsubishi T2 supersonic jet trainer aircraft. Our real strange stats are, or not real strange, but stranger stats. We have a 47 in speed, a 32 in mobility, a 60 in stability, 55 in defense, 37 in air-to-air, 42 or 43 in air-to-ground. As for liveries, we've got the desert green and brown camo for Aurelia. LASAF is the gray desert camo. One is the solid gray, basically the ASG. And then Special 2 is more or less reminiscent of the RAF Woodland. That's the one we're going to go with. We are armed with a single Japanese variant of the Vulcan 20mm. As for weapons, we're armed with 56 of the AAM-1s. We've got what should be 10 volleys of the JLAU-68, but it's the LAU-68 model. Got 12 Mark 84s and 8 Type 80 anti-ship missiles. Although that's, I don't think that's the model for it. Maybe it is. Let me check. Nope. Okay, whatever. So let's go ahead and take the long lance. And yes, I know the long lance is a torpedo and it was ship mounted, not air mounted, but still. Don't judge me.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff.
Now this thing is similar in design philosophy to the F-104, aka long, skinny with stubby wings. However, the wings on this thing are a lot thicker, so they can carry a lot more stuff without bending. Also, the fuselage is thicker because it's 2 engines instead of 1. But all in all, this means also the wings are wider from front to back as well, meaning that the wing loading is a lot less than the 104, meaning it can actually fly slower at a higher stability than the 104. No, that hit the building. Nope. So in terms of gameplay, as much as I love the design of the A6, the F1 is your better early attacker. It's faster and slightly more maneuverable. And it carries about the same amount of ammo that the Intruder does. But it being faster and slightly more mobile than the intruder means you actually have a shot at defending yourself against enemy aircraft. You also have a shot at catching them. Because remember when we did this mission with the A6, we could barely catch enemy aircraft. We just weren't fast enough. Oh, I gotta fix my chair. Okay.
Help me! He's right behind me! Target hit.
Falling. Increased power.
He's shooting!
There we go. Now, where's the landing ships? Okay, there they are. I'm not gonna let them sink us here. Promptly sunk. Yeah, maintain your formation. Don't spread out. Ow. All right. Three. And I've got 3 long lances left. And down they go. All right, we got 2 more aircraft left. And so far, we've got about 20 minutes left, so 8 is about the right number. Okay. Good to know.
We've succeeded in destroying the enemy fleet gathered in Port Patterson. Our ground troops scored a major victory by using the chaos caused by our attack to storm in and secure the port. We freed Port Patterson from the hands of the enemy. It's still kind of hard to believe.
Alright, we're going back to False Target. I know we're going to be doing a lot of the same missions, but given how gimmicky Ace X is, and especially with the early aircraft, you're not given a lot of ammo. Finding mission types where I can actually bring out each aircraft's potential to the fullest without giving me an aneurysm was kind of difficult.
Intelligence reports that LACEF forces are airlifting munitions from Fort
So
Patterson
if you're
to San
tired of
Francisco.
seeing this mission, I apologize.
We think the munitions are for the airborne fortress Gleipnir.
Anyway,
At this moment,
our next aircraft is the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Small and lightweight, this aircraft is a well-balanced fighting machine for air-to-air and air-to-ground combat. I will agree with that statement. This is eventually what the light fighter program actually ended up becoming. Although the fighter mafia did not like what happened to it because the Air Force took it like, okay, this is a great fighter. We're also going to make it be able to drop bombs. Real strange stats. The General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon is originally an air superiority fighter, but became a multi-role fighter later on. It was manufactured by General Dynamics from 1974 to 1993, Lockheed Corp from 1993 to 1995, and Lockheed Martin from 1995 to the present. Other foreign contractors have also built licensed versions of it, namely SABCA, Belgian, Fokker, which is Dutch and German, KIA, which is the Korea Aerospace Industries, not Killed in Action, and the Turkish Aerospace. It's manufactured from 1973 to 2017, and then manufacturing restarted in 2019 to the present. It was introduced August 17th, 1978, and its first flight was January 20th, 1974. Although officially it was February 2nd of that same year. And it was developed from the X-62 Vista. And its primary operators, oh, good God. As of 2024, there have been 22,145 F-16s in active service around the world. There's a whole separate page for just operators of the F-16. We've got the United States Air Force as the current largest operator. The Navy uses one as an aggressor. NASA got a variant of it, the XL. So, and then foreign operators include Belgium, Denmark, the Dutch, and Norway. Other European operators include Greece, Slovakia, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Turkey, Ukraine, Bahrain, Egypt, Israel, Iraq, Jordan, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Morocco, Indonesia, Pakistan, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, Argentina, Chile, and Venezuela. Former operators include Italy, and future operators include Bulgaria. Potential operators include Brazil, India, Peru, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Cancelled bids include Australia, Brazil. Brazil ended up taking the Gripen. Croatia, Colombia, Iran, New Zealand, and Peru. So there's a lot of them. Holy shit. Let me check out my chat. Find the F-16 and the F-17 would both compete to survive, but they would ultimately both survive. Their air program just different operators. Yep. Our strange reel stats. We've got a 69 in speed, a 45 in mobility, 39 in stability, which it should actually be lower. The F-16 is an inherently unstable aircraft. That's why it's so good at SEAD operations. We've got a 42 in defense, 60 in air-to-air, 15 in air-to-ground. For our liveries, as you can see, we've got an ostrich one already, but the Aurelian one would be the Hail Gray standard F-16, which kinda, but this is Windhover from Ostrich. Then we've got the Venezuelan F-16A camo for Lasath. Then we've got the Chilean Grupo F-16 Dark ASG. And then, oh, no, wait. That'd be, no, this is Special 2, which would be Silver Team's F-16. Kinda. But we're going to take the historic Windhover. We are armed with a cheek-mounted single M61A Vulcan 20mm. And as for missiles and other weapons, we've got 56 AIM-9Cs. Yeah, I'm calling them Cs, even though the F-16 would be using the M model, because Ace-X's standard missiles are shit. We've also are equipped with 10 volleys of the LAU-68 rocket launcher, 8 AGM-88 HARMs, and finally 12 AIM-120 AMRAAMs. We're going to take the AMRAAM. Now, I don't think the 16 is as nimble as the Tiger, but the Falcon has something that the Tiger doesn't, and that is range and stamina. The Tiger couldn't really equip much of anything. The Falcon, yeah, this thing, even though it's lightweight, because of the size of its wings, it can carry a lot of stuff for its size. So the Falcon has range and stamina over the Tiger, which is ultimately why the Air Force chose it over the Tiger. Or at least the Tiger Shark. Because, yeah, the F-16, design-wise, went up against the F-20. Also, just take a look at this livery that Ostrich made. Isn't it beautiful?
I'm really saying that because it's American.
No, I loved Windover's livery even if it wasn't the Maria. It being a Maria is just the icing on the cake. It does look good. Ostrich has so many Ace X liveries. I will link his page into the archive. And if you do have Ace X for an emulator, check his stuff out. At the very least, get the HD texture pack. Because that's what I'm using right now. And it makes everything a lot more clear and sharper. Especially the UI and the text. He also does liveries and HD texture pack for Joint Assault. I've got the texture pack for Joint Assault installed. God damn it. Keep trying to brake with the trigger. But I don't know how to do the liveries quite yet. Box 3. Yeah, the AMRAMs in this game are actually somewhat decent. Same with the Darkfires, the XLAAs. Gotta love the meme-tastic voice acting. This is the night. It would be nice to have a remaster for PC and console of X. I would also appreciate an updated flight model and game engine, but I don't see that ever happening though, because of licensing issues and other random bullcrap. Fox 2!
Alright, one down.
Fox 3.
I can't get it off me. Aggressive 1, please hurry. If you don't hurry, the military supplies. Another shipment's been hit.
Alright. Yeah, after this one we've got one more aircraft. And I think it might be Cross's favorite aircraft of the night. Mine of the night has been the Atlas so far.
Escort aircraft, get off of us. We lose everything if this place goes down. That's the wrong target. Help me! He's right behind me! Turn right!
There we go. Yeah, we still got time. Okay.
Damn it! A missile! Somebody shot it down! Good too! Enemy shipment.
And there we go.
The mission was a success.
Alright. For our last Welcome to Mission 6. 6B.
We've succeeded in shooting down all enemy transport aircraft bound for Santa Elva. This should prevent the enemy from gaining any new ground for a while. Future missions are sure to be less dangerous thanks to your efforts. Let's hope this victory helps make our future battles a little easier, too.
All right. Now, let's see here. Six B Icebound. I think this is the
Terminus
Naiad.
Island is home to both vital Aurelian oil fields and the Gleipnir's hangar. Intelligence has informed us that an Aurelian scientist is being held captive within this facility. It's highly likely that he has obtained invaluable...
This is the Naiad, so we're gonna end the stream with the Naiad. But our final aircraft for the night is the MiG-29A Fulcrum. An air superiority fighter boasting powerful engines and refined aerodynamics. Real strange. The MiG-29 was developed and manufactured by McCoy and Gavarevich, later just McCoyan after the fall of the Soviet Union. Its NATO reporting name is Fulcrum. It was an air superiority fighter and eventually a multi-role. It is currently in service. Just under 1,600 were built. It was manufactured from 1981 to 2019. It was introduced in August of 1983, and its first flight was October 6th, 1977. The major reason why this was developed was because it was developed alongside the Su-27 flanker to counter fighters such as the McDonnell Douglas F-15 and the General Dynamics F-16. Also, the F-5 was kicking the MiG-21's butt in mock dogfights, and these were Soviet pilots flying them. So that's probably why the MiG-29 looks nothing like the MiG-21. No more tubes. Operators. There's a whole host of them. Operators include Belarus, Bulgaria, Poland, the Soviet Union, now the Russian Federation, Serbia, Ukraine, Bangladesh, India, Mongolia, Myanmar, North Korea, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Algeria, Eritrea, Sudan, Azerbaijan, Egypt, Iran, Syria, Yemen, Cuba, Peru, and the United States bought 21 MiG-29s from Moldova to be used as research. Former operators include Czechoslovakia. All of the Czechoslovakian MiG-29s were passed on to both Czech Republic, and Slovakia. Speaking of which, Czech Republic. East Germany. Germany after the unification. Hungary, Iraq, Israel, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Moldova, Romania, Slovakia, Yugoslavia, and that's it. For our real well, it's because the MiG-29 does have some fighter bomber capabilities, and I knew that false target had been heavily selected, so I figured, we'll go with the Naiad. We've got a 75 in speed, a 39 in mobility, 36 in stability, a 39 in defense, 66 air-to-air, 18 air-to-ground. Liveries include, well, the Aurelian one should be solid gray with a black nose, but this is an Ostrich livery. I really like this one. Laysath is the Paris 89 camo, same as the one in Ace 0. Special 1 is the four colored woodland camo, and Special 2 is the black splinter. Although this one has been touched up by Ostrich. You can tell an Ostrich one because of the numbers. Base game does not have them because the PSP's fidelity was not that great. But we're gonna go ahead and go with the Aurelian. We're armed with a single 30mm GSH-30-1 autocannon. We are also armed with 58 R-60 aphid missiles. What should be FAB 250 kilogram bombs. 12 of them, but this is using the Mark 83 model. Should also be armed with 12 S5 rockets, but we're using the LAU 68 model. And for the semi-actives, it should be the R27 Alamo. We get 10 of those, but it's using the Sparrow model. We're going to take the bombs. Alrighty. But this livery does look really well against the glaciers. Stupid Aegis. another. Oh, this is just a cruiser. Damn it. Pickle! Yeah, I thought I dodged that, but I can't really see the missiles incoming. And I always fire it at the last second, so I can't dodge it very well.
We've reached the target. The infiltration unit is preparing to enter the facility. This is the infiltration unit. We'll bring you back something nice, so don't leave without us. It looks like we've got enemy anti-submarine aircraft. The Naiad's going to be pinned down even if they secure the target. Take care of those aircraft as soon as possible. This is the Naiad. Take care of those birds in the sky. Missile defeated.
Missile defeated, then why are you dead?
Missile off target.
Pickle, pickle.
Enemy plane shot down. Infiltration unit. We secured the target. Returning now.
This is the Naiad. We have secured the target and are commencing extraction.
This is the Naiad.
Alright, now just get out of there.
This is the Naiad. Hull breached. We've struck a mine.
Naiad, are you alright? What's the damage report?
The diving control system and rudder are out. Controls are barely responding. We're surfacing.
The Naiad has surfaced. Of all the times, we're getting new readings on radar. A large number of aircraft have taken off from a nearby enemy base. Naiad, maintain your present course. You've got to make it out of there. It's no use. An iceberg is blocking their path.
Now, why does the Naiad say an iceberg is blocking their path when they should have said an iceberg is blocking our path? I mean, I've got bombs for a reason. Paladin. I thought Alex Squadron was the best song. Or best known, at the very least. Alright, I can't catch Paladin. Not in time.
The Naiad is taking enemy fire. Please hurry and get rid of those aircraft.
Alright, now time to take care of the iceberg. Pickle, pickle. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, well. More pickles.
Evasive maneuver successful.
Special weapons fire running low.
Last pickle.
No special weapons fire remaining.
Alright, iceberg dead.
Success iceberg confirmed. He discovered
Now I just gotta take out these Nighthawks. God damn it. Wanna play Paladin? Let's go. Bring it. Head to head. Chicken, you and me. Oh, they take 3. Die. You know, Fleet, you could be launching SAMs, right? No. Sea Sparrows? No? You're just gonna let me do it? Great. Nat, are you done yet? 'Cause I don't really have that many more missiles.
Weapon reserve.
All right. Well,
The mission was a success. The Naiad has returned to...
that will be the end of the stream. Tomorrow we've got 2 streams. Dragon Age Awakening and Batman Arkham Knight. In Arkham Knight, we're actually going to be doing a side story instead of the main story. It's going to be Batgirl's side story. Then Saturday in Cyberpunk 2077, we're going to be doing everything we can before we launch the end game. Sunday, provided I'm not stricken with weather migraines, because I've looked at the forecast, the temperature is supposed to drop a good 20 degrees Fahrenheit because of a cold front, and the weather says chance of migraine or weather-related migraines on Sunday is extremely high. So if we do stream, it'll be Baldur's Gate 3. If we don't, well, I apologize for that in advance, but headache. Then in Monday in Final Fantasy X-2, we're going to be playing Archaeologist and just spending most of our time in Beacon Hill Desert digging for parts for the experiment. Then in Wednesday, we're going to be doing Maker's End in Horizon Zero Dawn. That's an important story mission, so if you're like keeping up with Horizon Zero Dawn, make sure you catch that one. Either live or on the archive. Wednesday evening in the aircraft, or in Ace 4, we're going to be continuing the expert run, and then
Terminate.
next week in the showcase, just giving you guys a preview, our next 8 aircraft, we're going to start with the A-10, and we're going to go to the MiG-21-93, the Mirage 2000D, the F-14D, the MiG-31, the YR-302 Fregata, the Tornado F-3, and finally, the F-15E Strike Eagle. But thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you had fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow with Dragon Age Awakening. Good night.